This is 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. So I'm in a new location for the next couple of days. I'm in my dad's apartment. We're going to go see a basketball tournament during the weekend, but that won't stop me from uploading videos. Today I have a video for you that's about a game that I'm anticipating. I think a lot of people are anticipating in the next couple of weeks, and that's Persona 5. It's been consistently delayed. It was supposed to be released, I think, in 2015. It was supposed to then be released 2016, and then it got delayed again to February of this year, and now that date got pushed back in either November or December for April 4th of this year. So hopefully there isn't going to be any more delays, and I'll look for the confirmation that the game has gone gold, and I'll tell you about it if it has gone gold or not. But until then, I want to talk about things that I actually like about the game, because in all honesty, and I'm pretty good at finding flaws with video games. It's not very difficult, in all honesty. I'm having a lot of trouble in finding flaws with this game just by looking at gameplay. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at a live stream of the game that was, over 2 hours long, and I also looked at other people's gameplay for it, and I really haven't seen a lot of flaws in the gameplay, specifically because the gameplay was very similar. But even in that, I didn't really see a lot of flaws with the gameplay. So let's talk about things that I actually like in the game. For starters, I've heard that the UI, and this isn't, and I can't necessarily confirm it because I haven't really seen the UI interface being used in the ways that people are describing it's being used, but apparently the UI is streamlined, the attacks, the attack prompts are streamlined. I didn't think that was a huge problem in the last game, but there are some trailers and there is some gameplay where you see the characters being able to access different weapons, from their melee weapons to their personas to the firearms that they use pretty rapidly and pretty quickly. So I can kind of see how the UI is streamlined in that respect. I love the opening aspect of the game. I won't have spoilers for the game. I'll try to keep it as light as possible, but I love the opening segment of the game. I don't know why it is. It seems like the tone has changed from Persona 4, and kind of Persona 3, where you have these characters that are innocent and are good kids. Everyone likes them. Everyone, in Persona 4, you're the new kid. Everyone's kind of interested in you. You haven't really done anything wrong. Everyone kind of is interested in you, and everyone kind of likes you. In Persona 5, that's a little bit different. The tone has changed from kind of this light and upbeat type of story to this very, dark and shady tone that really we haven't ever seen characters have in the Persona, I guess the main protagonists have in the Persona series. And I thought that was so interesting because we haven't seen that yet. And it's not only affecting the main protagonist, but all of these sub-characters in the game. And I thought that was spectacular because Atlus is trying to do something different with the series. They're trying to experiment more. They're trying to do more. And I think that it is starting to pay off by some of the things that I've seen and heard of with the story. Again, I won't spoil it for you because Persona is so heavily reliant on its story. Won't spoil it for you, but the tone is a lot darker and a lot more grim for the protagonists and their friends for reasons that I won't spoil. Now, the interesting thing about the dungeons is that how you get into the dungeons is really, really interesting. There's multiple ways to get into the dungeons. I haven't really looked fully into this, but there's ways to get to top floors or floors higher in the dungeons, and you can also start at the lowest point in the dungeons. And what advantages taking the higher portion or the lower portion have, I don't really know yet. I think the information is out. It definitely is out there because it's been released on PS4 and PS3 in Japan for since September, but I haven't really looked too deeply into the advantages for the purpose of not spoiling the game for myself. Now, why you go into the dungeons is so cool, and it's so spectacular, and it goes back to that grim aspect that I was talking about. And it's so interesting why you go into the first dungeon, because I thought that it was kind of like a double-edged sword. And it is. The characters are wrestling with, you know, why do they need to go into the dungeon at all? And again, I won't spoil it for you in case you want. I know I'm saying I won't spoil it for you, but I really feel like a lot of the key plot points that I'm not going to talk about are either going to really make or break the game for you. Like, you'll be like, oh, okay, this game sounds really cool if I experience it for myself, or it won't be. I think the game's going to be great, but I don't want to ruin the experience for you if you're going to go into this blind. Now, the soundtrack is amazing. A guy called Rainfall Review, he was talking about how the soundtrack is very Persona-esque, but it's not this, you know, cheerful and poppy nature that you see in Persona 4 and some of Persona 3. It goes with the tone that Atlus wants to set with the game, and I completely agree with that. And it's something that's so different, because Atlus is trying to do something completely different with the story that they haven't really done with the story. They're trying to make the characters seem kind of unlikable, kind of grim, kind of dark. And I like that, because you don't really see that in a lot of the Persona characters. In Persona 3 and in Persona 4. And the soundtrack is a mirror representation of the characters in the game. The reasons why you go into the dungeons are representative of societal issues that plague both America and Japan. And it's not necessarily like political, it's social issues that are plaguing us as people. And I thought that was so cool, because it makes the game a lot more relatable. It makes these characters seem a lot more alive and actually real. And that's like that was the cool thing about Persona 4 to me, is that the characters, they were so lifelike. They had heart. They had sadness. They had emotions. They had real emotions and interactions with one another that everyone could understood and relate to. And I think that the similarities with characters in Persona 4 will easily that similarity, that relatability will transfer over into Persona 5. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. So, I'm not going to post my first vlog today because, dear God, the vlog would have entailed me driving almost 4 hours from Corpus Christi to Austin. I'm not going to submit you to that boredom, because I was bored driving the 4 hours. So I'm not gonna force you to watch it, and I'm not gonna upload it because I know that it wouldn't be my best work. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.